What happens when a $32 million investment becomes a ghost in your own organization? The Toronto Blue Jays just made a move that tells you everything about their urgency to win now, and it involves a pitcher who was supposed to be part of the solution, not the problem. The truth behind this roster decision might shock you more than you think. Hello, Jays Nation. Welcome to Jays Quick News, your go-to spot for the latest Toronto Blue Jays updates. Today we're diving into a move that's equal parts shocking and strategic. Yariel Rodriguez has been outrighted off the 40-man roster. What does this really mean for the Blue Jays championship aspirations? And if you want to stay ahead of every breaking Blue Jays story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Let's break down exactly what happened here. The Blue Jays placed Yariel Rodriguez on waivers, and he passed through unclaimed, meaning not a single team in baseball wanted to take on his contract. Think about that for a second. Rodriguez is still owed $5 million in 2026, $6 million in 2027, and has a player option for 2028 worth another $6 million that could become a $10 million club option. We're talking about at least $17.3 million guaranteed over the next 3 years, and nobody bit. Now, Rodriguez remains in the organization. He hasn't been released or traded. He's essentially been demoted to organizational depth, parked on the AA reserve list for now. This is similar to what happened with Miles Straw when Cleveland outrighted him in 2024. The player stays in the system, can still attend spring training, and can be called up if needed. But here's the thing, if Rodriguez wants his spot back in the majors, he's going to have to earn it the hard way. So why did the Blue Jays do this now? Simple answer, roster flexibility. The 40-man roster is precious real estate, especially in the offseason when you can't use the 60-day injured list to create temporary space. The Jays currently have 37 spots filled, and with Cody Ponce's $30 million 3-year deal pending a physical, they needed room. They're also aggressively pursuing leverage relief help with the winter meetings starting Monday. Every spot counts. But let's talk about Rodriguez's performance because that's really the story here. Last season, he posted a 3.08 ERA and 1.151 WHIP across 73 innings and 66 outings with 2 saves. On paper, those numbers don't look terrible, right? So what went wrong? Consistency. Rodriguez showed flashes of brilliance, moments where he looked like he could handle high-leverage situations. But he never locked down a steady role in the late innings, and when the playoffs came around, he was exposed. During the postseason, Rodriguez was used sparingly in the first 2 rounds and got absolutely hammered by the Seattle Mariners in the ALCS. The ultimate verdict? He was left off the World Series roster entirely. When your team is fighting for a championship and you're not trusted in those moments, that tells you everything about where you stand in the pecking order. Here's the fascinating part of Rodriguez's journey with Toronto. When he signed that 5-year, $32 million deal 2 years ago, he was coming from Cuba with tons of hype. In 2024, the Blue Jays tried to develop him as a starter, an experiment that produced mixed results over 21 outings, interrupted by an injured list stint. They stretched him out again in spring training 2025, but ultimately moved him to the bullpen. The transition never fully clicked. How does this compare to other Blue Jays investment misses? Remember the Aaron Sanchez roller coaster or the Roberto Osuna trade aftermath? The Blue Jays have a history of betting big on pitching talent that doesn't pan out exactly as planned. Rodriguez joins that unfortunate list, at least for now. The difference is that unlike those cases, the Jays are eating this contract while simultaneously adding more pitching Shane Bieber, Dylan Cease, and now Cody Ponce. They're not letting one bad investment stop them from going all in. And that's actually the most important takeaway from this move. The Blue Jays are sending a crystal clear message. We're serious about winning now, and nothing, not even $32 million in sunk costs, will prevent us from optimizing this roster. They tried to trade Rodriguez, just like they're currently trying to move Jose Berrios. When that didn't work, they put him on waivers hoping someone would claim him and take the money off their books. When nobody did, they made the tough call anyway. What happens next? Expect the Blue Jays to add at least 1, possibly 2, high-leverage relievers before the winter meetings conclude. With Jeff Hoffman, Yimi Garcia, and Louis Varland already in the mix, they're building a bullpen capable of shutting down late-game rallies. Rodriguez's removal from the 40-man roster is a direct signal that reinforcements are coming And they're coming soon. Could Rodriguez still contribute in 2026? Absolutely. If he dominates in spring training and the Jays face injuries or underperformance, he can be added back to the roster. But the writing is on the wall. He'll be pitching for his baseball life, knowing that a $5 million salary in AAA would be one of the most expensive minor league assignments in baseball history. That kind of pressure can either destroy a player or ignite a comeback story. Which version of Yariel Rodriguez shows up remains to be seen. The Blue Jays just cleared a path for championship-caliber additions by making a tough call on a $32 million investment. Do you think Rodriguez can earn his way back, or is his time in Toronto effectively over? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you appreciate the no-nonsense Blue Jays coverage. And subscribe to Jays Quick News for everything happening with your team. The winter meetings are about to get wild, and you don't want to miss a single update. Until next time, Jays Nation, let's go Blue Jays.